What's up, guys? It's Yohanatori here, and I'm gonna be doing my first ever movie review. Excuse me for a minute. And I'm gonna be doing it in a British accent because British people always seem to know what they're talking about. So, here it goes. This movie review of The Avengers, which I just saw the other day. Let me get my British accent going. Give me a minute. Hello, this is the cynical movie critic, the cynical British movie critic, to be precise, and I'm going to be reviewing The Avengers, which is quite good actually. I'm going to start off talking about the Avengers themselves. You have Captain America, Thor, the Incredible Hulk, Black Widow, Hawkeye, and Iron Man. I believe that's all of them. And I'm going to start off, so now that you've got that in your mind, the villain is Loki, half-brother of Thor, and now that you've got all that in your mind, first of all, I'm going to go over what I didn't like about each one of them. Starting off with Captain America, I really didn't like how he seemed to be used to all this new modern conveniences, even though he's been asleep for 70 years, since World War II. And I was expecting him to be more like the Curiosity Cube, or not Cube, the Curiosity core from Portal. The one that's going, oh, what's that? Ooh, what's that? Ooh, that thing has numbers on it. Oh, what's that? Oh, you're that lady from the test. Oh, what is that? Ooh, what's that? What is that? Every time someone pulls out a cell phone, I expected him to go, what is that strange device? Something like that. And I was actually quite disappointed when he seemed like, oh, I'm used to everything, nothing can surprise me. Except for a big flying battleship. Yes, I mean, we catch a little glimpse of him being surprised at something modern, but that's only because it surprises everyone. Even people who are used to something like that. Well, not something like that, but something modern. And it surprises everyone. So, I don't think it really counts, but he still gives $10 to Fury. Thor. I honestly thought, well, you see, I had it in my mind that I thought, Thor was going to be a little weak, but, his acting could have been a bit better, but actually I thought it was quite good. But my only complaint really is that, his acting could have been a little bit better. The Hulk. I honestly thought Bruce Banner, Ruffalo, was actually fantastic in that role. My one complaint is that, when he was actually being angry, or pretending to be legitimately furious, he didn't really seem that furious. He seemed more in pain or frustrated, not really angry. So, I thought he could have done a bit better than that. Iron Man, well, really, I expected, at the beginning of the movie, I sort of expected, something, of the character of Tony Stark to be a bit more, selfless. Because it seems like in the beginning of Iron Man, of course, he was just a selfish, narcissistic person. And then he sort of changes at the end. But that doesn't carry through into Iron Man 2, where he's back to his selfish, narcissistic self. But it sort of changes at the end of that. So I thought, okay, maybe they'll carry it on to the Avengers, but they don't. He's back to his selfish, narcissistic self. I mean, I suppose it cares a little bit more about Pepper. But still, honestly, really, they could have done a better job of actually having him keep his selfless nature. Which gives me a little bit of wariness actually, is the correct word, caution for the Avengers 2, which I hear they're making. I thought that for Black Widow, I thought Scarlett Johansson's acting was a little weak. It could have been better, quite honestly. And I mean, it was good, but it wasn't great. And then that leaves Hawkeye, who never actually got a movie of his own. I've heard that he made a brief appearance in Thor. I don't know about that. But, you know, where did he come from? Who is this guy? You know, how does he know Black Widow, or Agent Romanoff, rather? You know, there's really no backstory for him. And I was a little disappointed with that. I mean, you get little glimpses, you know, talking about Budapest, and how she owes him a debt and stuff. Oh, by the way, spoiler alert, don't watch this if you haven't watched the movie yet. I don't think I've spoiled anything too big. I hope not. Yes, spoiler alert in this entire video. So now I've gone through the problems I had. Loki, of course, you know, he didn't seem villainous, he seemed more of a charismatic villain. I like that in a villain. So now I'm going to go through everything I liked about the individual Avengers themselves. Captain America. He's that good, all-American sort of person. And, you know, he's just, you know, he's getting everyone organized, he's, you know, taking control, he's being Captain America. Not Private America, not Private First Class America, but Captain America. He's a captain. He's got to take control. He's got to do this stuff correctly. That leaves now, am I recording? I think I'm recording. I better be recording. My camera's been dumb, so excuse me for a moment. Okay, good, I am recording. Afraid for a minute. I've got to take every precaution. Next up, Thor. Okay, one of the things I loved about Thor's character is that he always had that special place in his heart for Loki. He was like, he was always, you know, I'm going to fight you if I have to, but I don't want to fight you. You're my brother. We grew up together. Maybe not by blood, but in bond, we are brother. Kith and kin. You know, we grew up together, played together. So I really like that. Iron Man, I loved the way that he, you know, he opens himself up to his selfless nature, you know, more than we've ever seen, more than the end of Iron Man, more than the end of Iron Man 2. He's suddenly, you know, at first, of course, in the first Iron Man he's like, or the second Iron Man rather, at first he's like, you know, I don't want to be in your stupid little Avenger program, whatever, project. I think it's stupid. I care only about myself. I want to do whatever I want. I'm a freaking multi-millionaire. So, you know, but, you know, you see him open up a little. You see him, you know, realize that, you know, he's got to care about other people. He's got to care about the world itself. But you see him open himself up more, you know, when he's like, you know, we may not be able to save the Earth, but you can be sure that we'll avenge it. We're a team. You know, I'm going to actually help my teammates. And I thought that was excellent. The Hulk. I thought Ruffalo did a fantastic job acting out the part of Bruce Banner. I thought it was phenomenal, his acting. The way he, you know, conveyed his inner struggle, you know, between Banner and the other guy, as he called it. Yes. And Hawkeye and Black Widow, I'm going to sort of clump them together. Because they had really, they were actually quite similar. They're the only characters with no real superpowers. Per se, Iron Man doesn't really have a superpower, but he has a suit. Yeah, he has a totally cool, he has a cool suit with weapons of mass destruction within it. And, you can't go wrong with that. That's pretty much a superpower. He's a superhero. But Black Widow and Hawkeye, they're not really what you would think of as superheroes. Black Widow is a martial arts expert that can kick 50 billion butts in like 5 minutes, but she's doing it all natural. She was trained. She's not, imparted with some great gift like Captain America. She wasn't stuck with a needle as a test subject. She wasn't, opened up to gamma rays. She wasn't bit by a radioactive spider. She's not a genius who can come up with a metal suit that can make you virtually indestructible. She's not a mutant. She's just a normal person with extraordinary martial arts abilities. And Hawkeye is the world's greatest sniper. Guns and bows and arrows. But that's something that, with practice, you can achieve quite, quickly. Quickly being a relative term. It might take years. But, with practice, you can achieve it. But, you can't. But, he wasn't, exposed to gamma rays and bit by radioactive spiders or anything like that. He was just a normal guy with, again, extraordinary sniping abilities. So, what I really liked is how they embrace the fact that they're normal with great skills, and they're able to work with, paranormal, rather. Paranormal's not a good word. Extraordinary. They're ordinary, but they embrace that, and they understand that they can work with extraordinary. So I thought that was awesome. Another thing I loved about this movie was that there was a little something for everybody. If you like romance, look at Romanov or Black Widow and Hawkeye. They don't say outright that they love each other. As a matter of fact, Romanov denies it. Love is for children. I owe him a debt. So, but she's talking to Loki in that instance, and she could have been lying, as she was the entire time. She was trying to find out what Loki was really up to. But there was always a little something between them. You could just tell that it could develop into something. So if you like romance, there's a little bit of romance. If you like action, the entire movie is about action. If you're a Christian... I'm filming! I'm in my room! I'll find a way to cut that part out. So, if you're a Christian... Dad, I'm filming!
I want to show you something, man.
Well, I can't talk right now. Okay, I'm gonna cut that entire part out somehow. Somehow. So if you're a Christian, there was a little... If you're a Christian, there's a little bit in that too. Very briefly, when Captain America says to the pilot, "There's only one God, ma'am, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't dress like that," after Thor came in. Which leads me to, and that I thought that was amazing. Which leads me to my second point about Thor. His movie was not exactly the most successful Marvel superhero movie. It was quite good, actually, as good as it was, but it was not the most successful. And when they're introducing all the Avengers in the beginning of the film, in the opening exposition, they start out with, Romanov in a little sexy outfit being interrogated, Hawkeye up in the ballista, whatever, the catwalk, Iron Man in his brand new building, and Phil Coulson is that little funny dialogue. Captain America, of course, with with the punching bag. Bruce Banner as the Hulk, in, I believe it was Vietnam. I do not remember exactly. But so stuff like that. But you're left thinking, okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 5 Avengers. Wait, who was the 6th? At least this was me personally. I don't know what any of you thought. Post it in the comments. But I was thinking, okay, who's that last Avenger? I forget. And then Thor enters in a flash of lightning, jumps to the plane, and grabs Loki and flies out, and everyone is just there silently, just standing there, shocked silence, all thinking, what the bloody sod was that? And I thought that funny and quite good filming there, because because you forget who Thor is, you forget about Thor, and then suddenly he's got this triumphant hurrah entrance. You're like, oh yeah, that's Thor. And suddenly you're remembering Thor for the rest of your bloody life, because that was about the best entrance they could have come up with. So that's my thoughts on the Avengers. Oh, one more point before I go. The ending was phenomenal and cliffhangering. I don't know if you left as soon as the credits started rolling, but there was a little bit towards the middle of the credits, after they went through all the major cast members and stuff. There was a little bit where the aliens, or what the outer space people that were attacking New York, were bowing down, was talking to the leader of the unknown race that Loki was talking to. It had kind of a red face. It wasn't Red Skull, because Red Skull was German. But talking to a red face. And he was saying how humans are not the helpless, welches that, they were promised. And to go to war with humans was to court death. And the red guy smiled. He just gave sort of a sly smile. So it makes you wonder, is there going to be a sequel? Yes, there is. There has to be a sequel. So, once more, just to wrap up, props to Joss Whedon. Great job bringing all the movies together. Looking forward to the Avengers 2. Those are my thoughts on the Avengers. That's my review. Post your thoughts down in the comments, and I will look them over when I get the chance. So, Etsuo Hanatore, signing.